Today's video is going to discuss Chapter 1.6, Scatter Plots. So there are three different types of relationships when we discuss scatter plots. And scatter plots are essentially a graph with a bunch of different plots on there, and they're kind of scattered, hence the name, so that you can see a relationship between the x and the y variables. Right? And so if it's going in a example like this one, where the general pattern seems to be going up, this is considered a positive relationship. As x increases, y increases. As x decreases, y decreases. This example, where there's a general pattern going down, is called a negative relationship, because as x increases, y decreases. Or the opposite, as x decreases, y increases. So if they're moving together, it's considered positive. If they're moving opposite, it would be considered negative. And then there's a third example, which is down here, in which case they're kind of all scattered about, and this is considered to have no relationship at all. Now I want to show you an example from the book that will hopefully help explain how something like this might be used. It's basically showing coffee sold during outdoor games. Let me try to adjust the camera a little so I can get you a better view. Alright, so if you look at this example from the book, they give you the table of data on top, and then they essentially took these points with x being temperature and y being number of cups, and they put them on a graph, which is here. Okay, and then what you can see from this graph is that there is a negative relationship. As the temperature increases, the number of cups of coffee decreases. Or if you look at it the opposite way, so it would be coming back, as the temperature decreases, the amount of coffee sold would increase. So this means that there is a negative relationship between the temperature and the number of cups of coffee that is sold. And then if you look at part C, which is down here, you could use this graph to predict how many cups of coffee might be sold if the temperature was at 30 degrees. You could also predict any of these other points, because you could kind of draw a line in here to figure out where it is that you think this might be sold. Now there's a couple things I want you to keep in mind when it comes to scatter plots. First, remember that they're used to predict, right? A general idea, not necessarily to predict an exact amount. And the second thing is, remember that positive and negative have to do with the relationship of x and y, not necessarily a positive outcome and a negative outcome. So the example I typically use is one of cigarette smoking. And so the number of cigarettes that you smoke would increase the likelihood of lung cancer. However, as I think we all can agree, that's not necessarily a positive outcome. So remember that positive has to do with the fact that x and y are increasing together. All right, thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in class.